go to our third company on this Investor Day with acquired growth. And today we have with us Tsachi Maimon. I hope that was a decent pronunciation, from Israel, presenting Aspire Global. So welcome, Tsachi, and please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Peter. It was 70% correct. So thank you for having me for this presentation in the growth through acquisitions. It will be very interesting to show you who is Aspire Global and how is our vision through acquisitions. And first, I would like maybe to explain a little bit about who is Aspire Global, because maybe some of you are not familiar with the company. So Aspire Global is a leading supplier in the iGaming business, and we offer companies and operators everything they need in order to operate a successful iGaming brand, whether it's casino, bingo, or sport. It's not a startup. Aspire Global was founded in 2005. Currently, we have more than 300 employees in different jurisdictions. The biggest office is in Malta, and our developments are mainly in Bulgaria and Ukraine. Just a snapshot for the company, the group performance in 2019. So we ended the year with more than 130 million in revenues, with an EBITDA of almost 22 million. It was 21.7. Overall, it was represented by 26% growth year over year. I will move to the next slide, where I will explain a little bit about the offering, what Aspire Global actually offers today in the gaming sector. So we own those products. We have our own platform, gaming platform. We have Games Hub, we have games studios, and we have operational services that we can supply to partners, whether it's call centers, CRM, and the other operational services. So Aspire Global has all those products in it, and currently we are selling it to more than 80 operators or partners around the world. This is a huge jump that we have. Then a little bit less than a year ago, we were only on 40 operators as a client of the group, and now we are more than 80. So this is a nice development of Aspire Global. A little bit about our business model, how we sell those products that I showed you in the previous slide. So all the products, whether it's a PAM, the platform, games, or Games Hub, they can be sold independently or as part of a full package, but it doesn't matter how we sell them. They are being sold, and the pricing is on a revenue share model, which means that our partners are able to understand that this is a true partnership. If they will grow, we will grow our income through that. So this is our business model for every product we sell. As I said before, Aspire Global is not a startup. We are not thinking only about tomorrow. In every step of the operation and strategic decisions, we are thinking ahead of time. We are thinking for 2025. We are thinking of 2030, and making sure that the decisions that we have now will affect 5 and 10 years from now, and not tomorrow, because then it's a different company. Then we probably would have done things differently, and we can accept the challenges in the coming years. But at the end, if it will serve the strategy 5, 10 years from now, so we know that we are on the right way. So in order to understand 2025, let's first understand what happens today. To all of you that may be new to the gaming, let's understand what is happening today in the gaming sector. So first, we know that the online gaming representing around 12% of the overall gaming in the world. Currently, it's only 12%. We know and we feel it, whether it's in the UK or Sweden or any other regulated market. It's a tough regulations out there. It's not easy. Every market, when it's being regulated, it has its difficulties and challenges, and we're experiencing it. This is today. We know that today, and this is what we see, there are a lot of operators, a lot of suppliers, and this is a fact that the competition is big. All of those three elements, and probably some more, but those are the main that we analyze, bringing the margins to be lower than what it used to be 5 and 10 years ago, because there are taxes, heavy weight of manpower, everything, and at the end, a company today is with lower margins of profitability than 5, 10 years ago. Now, if I will move to 2025, because we want to win 2025, what we analyze in 2025 is that already there, we will see a consolidation of businesses. Companies will buy companies for the volume. We will see also consolidation of products in order to save cost or to create another income stream. We will see companies acquiring other companies only because of their product offering. The regulation will not be new in 5, 10 years from now. It will already be a fact, and companies will need to adjust by then, and it will not be a surprise for any aspect of the regulation. The online gaming will jump, almost double itself, from 12% to around 20% of the overall gaming in the world. Now, when we say 20%, it means that it doesn't take into consideration yet the effect of the COVID-19 that we are experiencing, and where the land-based understood that in order for them to be in a more sustainable business, they will need to go online. So we think that this number of 20% will be even higher. But this is the number currently that all the analysts in the world put. So all of those changes that will be in 2025 will bring the companies to a higher margin, and this is what we all want, that the company will grow, but also will be with higher margins. So this is how 2025 for the industry will look like. So what needs to be done in order to win 2025? Because Aspire is not alone in this game. So what needs to be done in order to win? This is the growth strategy of Aspire Global. The investors among you that follow Aspire Global, so you probably see those elements and initiatives of the growth strategy of Aspire. It's not new. We are mentioning it in every annual report that we are publishing, and this is something that we put 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and every year, if you will go and see our annual report, you will see those 4 initiatives. And what does that mean, the growth initiatives? First is organic growth. It means if the company can grow organically, it means that the company is healthy and is able to scale without any external contribution. M&A, we know that in order to win 2025, we will probably need to consolidate into our offering or in the volumes to do an M&A. Another growth initiative is the stronger offering. We know that if currently we are selling 4 major products, we will want to sell more than those 4 because we know that every product that we will add to our portfolio, it will add an income stream to Aspire Global. And of course, geographic expansion. It means that if today Aspire Global is working in specific jurisdictions, we know that a trigger for continuous growth, it means to open more and more markets. So let's zoom in on the organic growth. This slide is coming to show that the company is healthy. Look at the last 4 years of Aspire Global. The yearly revenue growth, year over year, from 60 million in 2016 to 72 million in 2017 to almost 105 million in 2018 and to more than 130 million in 2019. So overall, double-digit growth organically of the company. It means that for the organic growth, we can check the box of this initiative, and we will continue to grow organically. Let's move on to the M&A. So also the M&A, the first M&A of Aspire Global happened last year in October 2019. We acquired Pariplay. Pariplay is a games and games aggregator company. We acquired it in October 2019. It was in the consideration of 13.3 million euro. Aspire own 100% of the company. Already after the acquisition, we appointed Jesper Kerbing as the chairman of Pariplay, and I can say that he's contributing very much to the business from the first moment that he joined. Of course, Jesper has great experience from being the CEO of Mr. Green and Svenska Spel. So this is the first acquisition that we did. And now let's see how this acquisition succeeded to contribute to the group of Aspire Global. So I'm moving to the stronger offering. Look what happened to Aspire Group from the acquisition of Pariplay, how we strengthened our offering. So by buying Pariplay, we added 2 more products, 2 more verticals, business lines to Aspire Global. One is proprietary games. We have our own studios that creating games. We are creating 2 per month, and we already have more than 100 games that are our games that we can sell to operators. An additional product is an aggregation services. It means that Pariplay have a product of Fusion. Fusion is a technology that integrates to its system most of the important third-party content providers out there into one system. So if an operator wants in one integration to get an access to all those game suppliers, so he can integrate to the Fusion system. So after the acquisition of Pariplay, we now have much more offering and 2 more products that we are selling. I'm moving on to the geographic expansion, which is this last initiative of the growth strategy of Aspire. So also look on that. Before Pariplay, Aspire Global had licenses in those markets, Sweden, Denmark, Malta, UK, Ireland, and Portugal. Once we acquired Pariplay, look now on the geographic expansion of Aspire Global Group that now can offer its services to much more markets, including Gibraltar, Romania, the US market, Spain, Italy, Switzerland, and I can tell you that we have a deal already signed in each and every jurisdiction, including the US market, which is something that we believe that the product of Pariplay is a pioneer in the US, and we can see the added value and the competitive advantage that we have in the US market through Pariplay. So already here, the geographic expansion is being achieved, and now we are waiting for income stream from those new markets of the group. So once we understand the growth initiatives and where Aspire did and what Aspire did until now, we aim that in 2025, Aspire will not only sell those products that we have today, and some of them we acquired. We are thinking to acquire more services. This is why it's a little bit gray here, because we want to acquire, not to build and develop, because we want to go to the market and acquire the best product out there in order to add it to our portfolio of products and then to continue and sell it to the operators in the gaming sector. So if today we have around 80 operators taking any product from Aspire Global, we want to have much more clients and operators taking it in 2025. This is the vision of Aspire Global. Everything we do to enable our partners to achieve their full potential. We want them to be profitable. We want them to grow. And if it means that we will need to acquire companies or to do a lot of things on the way, in order for them to fulfill their potential, so this is the only reason for us to wake up in the morning. Let's have some numbers in this presentation. So this is the Q1 highlights of Aspire Global. We ended Q1 with 33.7 million euro in revenues, representing 4.6% increase quarter over quarter from Q4 2019. The B2B revenues, 24.4 million euro, almost 7% increase over Q4 2019. The EBITDA was 5.2 million, almost 20% increase. And the EBITDA only of the B2B business was 3.8 million, which represents around 10% increase quarter over quarter. What we also informed in our quarterly report is a little bit of an update because of this unique situation of the COVID-19. We gave an update of how the company is performing and working remotely from March 15. So we gave also a snapshot of April in order to show the clarity a little bit of the first month of Q2. And what we saw in April is that the revenues ended with 13.5 million euro, which represents a 20% increase over the average monthly of Q1 2020. So we see good development, and the company adjusted very good to the work remotely. Of course, we see that a lot of players taking advantage of the fact that if their land-based entertainment is closed, they can find this entertainment and games to play online, and we are happy to be there with the broader product that we have in the group. And this was the last slide. I'm open for Q&A.
Thank you, Tsachi. I would like to start by emphasizing that if we have any in the auditorium, the virtual auditorium, that want to ask a question, that is fine. We will try to integrate this. But I would like to start with a question, if that's okay with you, Tsachi.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You have a B2C business also, but you don't spend so much time on that. What's your view of the B2C business in the 2025 scenario vision for the future?
It's a good question. Also, when we IPO'd the company 3 years ago, the balance between B2C and B2B was around 55% B2C and around 45% B2B. And when the investors asked us how we see the future, we told them that 3 years from now, which is 2020, it will be around 65-70% B2B, and the remaining will be B2C, which is around 30%. So also going forward, even if the fact that the B2C will be with a lower volume in the group, we have a dedicated team for the B2C. We expect it to continue and grow, but not on the same pace as the B2B. So if you're asking me about the future of the B2C, it will grow, but not as fast as the B2B business. We have a dedicated team doing only B2C and focus on that.
Okay, thank you. And what does the B2C business contribute to the B2B business? What's the synergies?
So currently the B2C is acted as an internal partner, which means that they have their own acquisition and marketing team, but all the platform and games and the transactions are being done on the Aspire Group. So the B2C at the end of the month is paying royalties to Aspire Global on the services that he's taking from the platform. So he's acting like an internal partner. So of course, he doesn't need to have duplicate positions in order to maintain its business. You have a dedicated 20-25 employees focusing on marketing and branding of their brand.
Okay, thank you. And about the fusion platform, I guess you could call it, within Pariplay. Could you elaborate a bit on that? What's the alternatives for the operators? What competitors to fusion are there out there?
It's a very good question. Until 3-4 years ago, the aggregation was not known. It wasn't a big deal. But throughout time, the industry saw that there are so many games providers out there, a lot of games providers to compete with the big NetEnt and Play and Go and all the other names that we all know. And since then, there were a lot of games providers, and the operators needed to integrate one by one in order to have them in their platform. And then 3 years ago, it started to have an aggregation platform. So currently, I think that there are 4 or 5 leading aggregation platforms around the world. And the competition is how many game suppliers each aggregator have in its system. And not only that, what are the additional CRM tools that the aggregator can supply for the operator in order to enjoy those games and to have it a little bit more sticky than other aggregations. And last but not least, of course, the option to open new markets. Today, Pariplay through Fusion can open to different operators markets because Fusion is certifying the third-party games instead of waiting for a NetEnt, for example, or wait for a Tiger. So this is something that is an added value. And there aren't a lot of aggregators out there. I think there are around 8-9, but 3-4 are the leading ones.
Okay, thank you. Could you were telling us that there is a price pressure, there's a margin pressure in the industry right now for well-known reasons, but you expect that to reverse in 2025 or before that. Where do you expect the margins to bottom out for the industry from here? Is it like a couple of percentage points down? Is it a half down? What's your view there on an industry level?
I think that it will be a significant improvement from several reasons. One, today the companies are heavyweight manpower-wise, and it will need to push the companies to be a little bit more automated and to take their technologies forward in order to supply the same kind of services with limited manpower. So this is one heavy item that can be deducted. The second, we know that as the regulation will be in more jurisdictions, so companies will want to grab market share and also consolidate products. So by acquiring other companies and have higher volumes, they can take the costs that they currently pay to service providers down, and then by saving over there, it will also improve the margins. So I think that it will be a little bit more than a few percentage points. I think that 5-7 years from now, it will be a significant increase in the profitability.
An increase from here or an increase from a bottom, which is still to come?
I think that it's from here because Europe is a leading place for regulations. So the most of the companies are active in Europe are let's say, experiencing the regulations in Europe. So now they have their scars on their back in order to take the lesson learning and the experience to Latin America, to the US, or to other jurisdictions that will be regulated, and to take what they learned from here and to approach it already differently. So I think that it will be from here.
Okay, interesting. Last question, possibly. What sort of capacity do you have for acquisitions with your balance sheet today in terms of euros, millions of euros? How much could you acquire, and what would you like to acquire size, in terms of size or focus?
So we took a bond last year of 27.5 million euro. And as you know, Aspire, without even this bond, is generating cash on a quarterly basis. So currently, we have the availability of more than 30 million for acquisitions that we would like to do. And what we are looking for is the same concept of what we did with Pariplay, is to take one of the leading verticals, and we are having our eyes on the sport vertical. This is an higher priority, but we cannot avoid other opportunities out there. And sport is something that we are looking very much, and to have the right technology and the product in order to leverage the Aspire global magnitude and the group in order to take it forward.
Okay, thank you very much. It was very interesting to learn more about Aspire Global today and going forward. So thank you, Tsachi Maimon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.